So about 70% of long-term incentive plans use total shareholder returns as a metric. It's very popular with the proxy voting agencies like ISS, and it might surprise everyone who is watching this to know that it's a deeply flawed metric, and this is why. Typically, long-term incentives work on the basis that you're granted some shares at the beginning of a 3-year period, and after 3 years, you look at the total shareholder returns of the company and you compare that with a basket of peers or index. After 3 years, you can then decide whether or not those shares should vest in full or part, and then the following year, another vesting occurs from a previous grant, which was 1 year later, and so on and so forth. So over a 10-year period, you could imagine there are 7 grants of long-term incentives of 3 years in length. Now, what does that actually mean? What it means is that if you were to do particularly well in the first 3 years, and you were comparing yourselves on each of those 7 occasions, you would be having to outperform again and again and again and again and again the same companies. As you do well at the beginning, it becomes more difficult to outperform. It's like running a race on a round racetrack. You win big the first time, but you then turn around and race the same people in reverse. The further you are ahead, the more difficult it is to win again because you're starting further behind. It's called winner fatigue. That winner fatigue is a very simple concept, and the way to describe it is if you take 10 years, mathematically it's extremely difficult to be ahead of everybody else or above median more than 5 times. So essentially, if you have a TSR-based long-term incentive plan, an executive can run the mathematics and figure out that they have a 50% chance of their long-term incentive plan paying out. Not surprisingly, executives actually don't like TSR-based programs.